Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us today at the ZENcast. If you're watching the recording, thank you for picking this up. Today is June 20th, 2023, halfway through the year almost. We are going to be talking about ZENworks Service Desk 23.3, what's new. It's going to be released in July, and we wanted to show you a few details about what's going on with that particular product. Let me get my screens straight first. Let's go here. And I hope everybody can hear me okay. Today's presentation, I'll go ahead and post it in the chat so you can download that, follow along, or if you're watching the recording, it'll be in the description. And you'll be able to review those links that I go over so you have them all with you. I'm Paul Pedron, Product Manager, ZENworks Service Desk. Along with the ZENworks PM team, we welcome you. And we're ready to present. The next ZENcast will be on July 18th. It'll be about two form factor in ZENworks. Whether you have ZCM or if you have ZENworks Service Desk, how to configure that, what to do, different things about two form factor. We'll be using the NetIQ advanced authentication. July 4th is a US holiday, so we won't be having a ZENcast on that day. All right, but we do meet the first and third Tuesday of every month, 9 o'clock Mountain Time. And it's for ZENworks admins, the ZENworks community, or anybody just interested in ZENworks at all. We look forward to getting comments and requests for different types of topics. And as we do, we go ahead and put them into the agenda. You'll find the details and the recordings on these recordings on the Microfocus, or I should say, Open Text Unified Endpoint Support and Training YouTube channel. Let's do a little bit of house cleaning. So please subscribe. That way you get notifications when we go live. Log into YouTube chat when you get a chance, and you can participate in the chat, give questions, give comments, give how you're doing it, so that we can understand more about the product and how our customers are using it, as well as comments and likes and dislikes. We want to make sure this forum is good for you and on target. Best viewing options is 720p60, and you'll see the posted video in the posted video descriptions, the links to the downloads and the links to references, just like I posted in chat. Okay, there are plenty of new tidbits and crumbs. External systems to open requests for ZSD. We have the debugging. As you know, we have the old debugging 3418069. If you've been with ZENworks configuration management for a while, you might even recognize this number, but we've been starting to split those out into a master debug reference so that we can elaborate on the different TIDs. So let's go ahead and bring that up here. Went over to my other screen here. Full screen. Let's go here. So this particular TID will be broken up into sections. So we're separating out the old TID into different sections. And now we've been slowly adding even deeper details of each one of these different topics that you'd find in that original one, but in more detail here. So we're breaking them out, and we currently have how to collect logs for ZPM patch feed is a new one, enabling debug logging for ZCM server this week, enabling debug logging on the client, on the endpoint. There's other things like DB query to check bundle content size and those types of things. A couple new TIDs is ZCC login error action cannot be performed. If you're running into that, please look at that particular TID. It'll give you some details. And then that 2020 update 3 requires TLS and DNS naming. So there's another TID that's brand new this week that has been reported. We want to make sure we got this information out to you in case you're experiencing any of these types of issues. All right. The bits are OpenText acquisition and versioning, as you know. OpenText is our main company now, and we're conforming to their versioning, which is every quarter of every year. So it's basically the versioning is 23.3 would be third quarter of 2023. And all of our products are going towards that versioning. And of course, there's rebranding involved. ZCM 23.3 beta is in progress right now. I think they're coming up to the tail end of it. They might have a couple more. I'm not sure. I know they've been on it since late June, I think. And then our ZSD beta, the last beta meeting we're going to have is this week. And so that we can finalize 23.3, harden it, finish it up, and go ahead and release it in July. That's going to be released July 11th is the target date, just so you're aware. There is a ZCM agent cleanup tool as well that's available out there. And the imaging driver update for July 2023. All right, so this year, the imaging driver update is available. It says July. I thought it was June. Let's look. June. That's typo here. So this is June 2023. So you have imaging driver updates available. The PRU is out for June, just so you know, and other things here. You can weed through these as you need to. Feel free to download that PDF I have in the chat. So as we go through this, let's talk a little bit about what happened last time. We did a Windows primary upgrade, and as the demo gods and my preparation failed, I didn't have .NET 4.8 to complete that install during the demonstration. So it's very similar to the others. Just make sure you double check the prerequisites like I didn't do. We went through upgrade sequence, the post upgrade, and the tools and troubleshooting. All right. Today's agenda, we're going to be talking about ZSD 23.3, what's new. We're going to have an overview of the new features. We will have a demonstration. We'll go on some live systems for advanced authentication, some ZENworks Service Desk console, some ZSD logins, some of the newest features that we want to look at, and integrations with AAF, and then obviously the customer and technician portal. So we'll see how it affects everybody. And as we go through this, you'll see that it pretty much affects, we've done improvements throughout the product. So every aspect and every type of user or role will actually get improvements on this particular product release. Okay, let's move on to the systems. Let's see. I will go 87. And then I have an AAF. So I'm already logged in. No, I'm not. So for advanced authentication 2 form factor, we have tied it in this particular setup to NetIQ's advanced authentication. And I think, yeah, I just went in as a regular account. I need to go into admin, show you that. And we won't go through the complete thing with AAF till next time. We'll cover both ZCM and ZSD connecting to AAF and some of the configuration settings, but we'll give you a quick run through the local admin. Okay, and this is pretty much the dashboard for AAF. There's a few things to configure so that you can then connect to ZSD and they have that communication, throwing certificates back and forth, the redirect URLs and so forth. But, and we'll cover a little bit of those and in detail next week. Let's see, let's just go into, yeah, that has to come up eventually. There we are. So in this case, under the advanced authentication, I did create an event for ZENworks Service Desk, and it's an LDAP password. All right. And that's one of the methods that they have is an LDAP password. Okay. So you can choose on certain methods of the two form factor. And these are our chains, depending on what type of chain you want to go through. We have our repository set up so that we have our digital airlines. And we can see here that if we do a sync, I'm going to go full screen, do full sync. Okay. It'll come back. And in a minute, we'll see that it has completed 161, 6 updated because we added a few things. So you can see that we've actually got some users in here and for attached to that particular repository, which is our LDAP repository. And in this case, it's Active Directory. eDirectory works the same way. By default, you get 10 licenses out of box, so you can kick the tires. The server options is where you put in your keys, and we'll cover that next time on how to develop that key. And it's quite quick. There's a nice script for it. Combine it all, then you can connect on up. So it really works out well. There's other things like the login background you can change and so forth, but the scripts is important. The event is important by picking your method, and the repository is important. And finally, the policies down at the bottom is a web authentication. And you put in your AF server here, so it has some details on that. Those are some of the things that we detail here on the service desk side. Let's go ahead and log in. You can see it's rerouted over to advanced authentication. It's a directory password, as it states here. And I saved it to make it easier for us. And you log in with the second form factor. If you had the OTP, the SMS, same types of things would occur. Okay, depending on how you do your two form factor. If we go then to the setup for AAF, we have a new setup configuration, which is called AAF sources. You can see it here. And you can see I have it configured. Let me back up a second. We have the aafdigitalair.com. It is enabled, and it has the user source configured. So in this case, we have told it the redirect, we have told AAF which redirects we're going to use. And we brought in this client ID and the secret, and we've attached our user source here. So we'll cover again the configuration for ZENworks and Service Desk next time. But this is what the Service Desk AAF configuration details look like. All right, which allows you then to log in with Service Desk through two form factor authentication. The NetIQ, if you don't have any two form factor authentication, and you bring in the NetIQ advanced authentication, the trial has 10 licenses out of box. It also will allow you 7 methods of two form factor. And we will be entitling the equivalent of technician licenses for the AAF user licenses that you purchased. So if you purchased technician license, 20 technicians license, you'll have 20 license of AAF limited. Okay, so you can still do your two form factor authentication, some of the very basic two form factor authentications. All right, that is a little bit of what AAF is about. And when we talk about, let's see if this one came up, it did, good. When we talk about some changes, we have obviously the versioning here that we're migrating to. We do have a couple of things like we rename these tiles. And if you've been with Service Desk a little while, you know that one said ZenWorks Classic Service Desk and another one is Service Desk. We renamed these to the Technician and Portal. That in part was when we were changing the modernization from the old coding to Angular Spring. You could go classic mode and new mode. And now we've gone far enough into the modernization to just bring up the normal technician and customer portal. You can still go back to the classic mode, even in version 23.3. If you're running the old version, or the old portals, you can still run those. So this doesn't change there. It's just a cosmetic change for technician and customer portal. All right. The other thing which is nice, when I was a customer, I used to, at one time I lost my technician portal. I couldn't log in to see what my database configuration was. And so now you can from your admin portal, from your appliance admin portal. We now have the database name, host IP, and those things, details about the database, so that you can then continue to work and figure out what's going on with your system if you're having a problem with the database. All right, you have those details in front of you. And again, on the console, we will be doing online update in order to upgrade from version 8.3x. So if you have 8.30 or 8.31, you can go to online updates, do the online update, which installs a prereq. It'll then ask you to reboot. You'll log back into the appliance admin console and you'll see a product upgrade. You'll select that button, go through a short wizard, and it'll upgrade to 23.3 permanently. So you'll be all set. We'll have a video and another demonstration of that later in August, probably. But I just wanted to make sure that you knew that this is an in-place upgrade. It's not a side-by-side. So it'll be fairly simple, which minimizes your downtime. All right, so we have tile renames, we have the online updates and product upgrade. We do have some cosmetic things that are going on. Let's go on over to the customer portal. I think we logged in here. We'll just go to the customer portal here. Let's go here, customer, and we're logged in here as the customer. Let me go a little bit bigger. All right. Some of the things is for the customer, starting to build out the profile for the customer. We now have the full name in here. Before we had username and email. We have the full name, and by your request, we've put in the date format and the time zones. Some cross boundaries, so they may want to specify what their time zone is. So when the tickets are going out and so forth, they're with their time zone. So we've improved that for the My Profile. We hope to have soon an email alias in here as well, so that the customer can put in their email alias also. All right. Another thing is the header for different knowledge base. We'll show this over in I don't have it configured for the customer, but you have header information in the knowledge base that will be helpful. I don't have the comments turned on for the customer right now. Another big one is this tooltip. Now, I think it's mostly misunderstood and not used, but it's a very powerful search engine. And so we decided to put in a tooltip per your request so that you could kind of get the syntax down. It's not a character search. It's a full text search. And there's also a TID on this as well. If you look at the ZSD customization cookbook, one of the TIDs in there is, full text search explained and how to go about it. So you do have a little bit of help here with this tooltip, so you can get your searches down that you need to do. And this is across the board. This is both in customer and technician portal, so you can really take advantage of this powerful search engine. All right. Remember too, when you do the search, you have search it. You could search different areas. By default, it's typically store because that's top of the list. So when you're searching, make sure you're in the right category for when you do your searches. Okay. The other thing which I think I have enabled, if we go to requests, actions, let's go to a closed, no actions. Okay, so I turned it off to show the example. The customer now can, let's say they had an issue, it gets resolved, they're working through and they go, oh, it's not resolved. I just found another instance where it's reoccurring. I'd like to reopen that ticket. They can then go to, uh, when we have this enabled, it's a new privilege. So if we go to privileges and we go to customer and we go to, we go to requests, there's a reopen. It is customer, isn't it? Allow reopen, yes. So it is already set. Let me see if I close one. Let's go resolved and say resolved. Hit resolve. Now we should see that that one is resolved and closed. We can then reopen. And we'd of course give some type of detail on this. The one thing to note is the SLA. If you're using SLAs, doesn't get reset. That'll be in a future enhancement where you'll have the option to either reset SLAs or not. But they are able to reopen and say, hey, this reoccurred. Here's the new error. You know, keep this going. This will go to the last technician that previously had the call. All right. So that's the reopen we have for customers. The other thing is need info email reminders and disable CC auto suggest. So these three have new privileges, as you can see with the asterisk. We're going to jump down to the disable CC auto suggest. So let's see if we have it turned on. We're going to create a new incident. We're going to go, oh, that's, hang on, it's email issue. No, it's new request. Why am I drawing a blank? Oh, CC right here. Okay, so if I wanted to put in, I could then see everybody that has, after you put in 2 characters, it starts filtering. And so you could start seeing other email addresses. And this may not be good. You may want to tighten up security. So if we go back over to the administration, the setup, and we go to requests, there's a new, is it requests? Where's my CC? Oh, it's under customer because it's a customer. Yeah, enable search for CC is enabled. Enable search for requests, CC for requests. So this makes the field there. This one enables searches, the automatic suggestions of the email. So if we turn that off, and then we go back over here and we go, it won't show. You have to actually put the whole thing. Ackerman at digitalair.com, and then it'll show if it'll confirm if it's in the system. All right. So that kind of helps for security, being able to not auto suggest. All right. And that's for the CC, that's for the customer. The other one is the requests and additional information reminder. So you may say, well, I know if there's a call open and we're waiting for a customer and we have handshaking on, it shows that this will have handshaking in 2 days, it will close. Well, I don't want to close it in 2 days. I want handshaking on, but I want to be able to remind the customer. And again, you guys put this request in. I want to remind the customer that additional information is needed from you. So if you were to select this and say yes, you'll see now that the default is 3 and 5. So you can then specify after 3 days, we want to remind them with, so many emails about this, information that's needed. Now, at this point, this comes in before the handshaking. So at this point, once it's completed the 5 reminders, then handshaking will turn on. If handshaking is on, handshaking will take effect, and 2 days later it will close. But you could always turn handshaking off, and it just sits in their queue waiting for a reminder. So this is an additional feature that helps with getting that information from the customer, reminding them, hey, don't, let's keep this ticket rolling and get that information to us. So this is an information reminder that we have for the customer. All right. Let's go on over to the technician. We've got a few things with technician that we've incorporated in this particular release, which is kind of exciting. I'm going to reduce this so I have the full screen. We're going to go user. All right. Part of it is the getting started. If you're a supervisor, you will get this getting started, and it'll show up every time you log in, unless you go to the very bottom on the older versions and there's an I'm done button. If you select that, then it won't show up. You can always get back to it using the hourglass, but I often forgot that this was done in telling customers as I was training them to select the I'm done if you need to. What they've done now is they've gone to a simple getting started, and we put an X over here. If it's the first time, it'll prompt them. Are you sure you don't want to close this anymore, or have this appear when you log in? You could say yes, no. So it'll continue to come up if you say no. And so that way you have that getting started. The I'm done's moved up to the top basically for to the X. All right, just make it more simplified, more up to date with what needs to be done. Let's go on over to the knowledge base as I was mentioning. So if we went into this particular knowledge base and we went to the comments, you can see there's header information here. And what we've had, this happened with the notes as well. The notes and the knowledge base articles, let's say you're starting in and you're making a comment here and you're saying you need to go to another screen, and you get distracted, pulled off, you come back. This will tell you at least where you left off, right? That way you don't have to close, reopen, and start over. You can, if you have details already started and you can't add the comment yet, at least you have some details up in the header information of what's going on. And same with the customer. All right. So we just added that small cosmetic detail to help navigate through what's going on with that particular request or comment. All right. So again, we have the tooltip. We put the tooltip here next to this search. If we go over to knowledge base, we have the tooltip as well. And there is a video on this one as well, a TID on this one as well, that explains the tooltip and the search functions. And then the home, home requests. I mentioned that it's here. So you have that full text search and just explaining it so that you could use it. It's fairly powerful. We talked a little bit about the AAF integration already, so that's taken care of. We will cover that July 18th on the 2 form factor when we cover 2 form factor for ZENworks. We have another feature that we have, which is if we go to quick call. So if we go to, we're in requests, we're going to go to a quick call. Not here. We're going to go, quick requests. Let me go to my requests. Quick requests. All right. Before, let's see if I have my other system up. 160 isn't up. Let's go here. Let's log in. This is not with two-form factor authentication, and I don't think it's even upgraded. If we go to, let's go see if it's upgraded first. Setup, licenses. Yeah, A31. So if we go to our user, do this, and we'll go to quick request. When you create a quick request, this filters items, right? But the item list may be real long. So this makes it easy to go incident, what type of request is it? And then you have all of these, but customers or technicians want to get to it a little bit faster. And this filters out what's in this string. So if you start filtering out to software, that's going to change the results of what you have in the search items, right? So there's a little bit of confusion with this in searching. So what we've done in the new portal for technicians is we removed those two and just did the advanced item search. All right. Not only do we have the filter that you can do, just give it the type of request it is, and then the item you're looking for. But if that's real long, you can always go into what we now know as the advanced item search. And then you have your search categories and search type. No sense replicating them on both pages. So we now have just put it in this particular location and remove the other two categories to make it simple. All right. That's the quick request, advanced item search. All right. While we're here, the quick calls. Let's go into the quick calls. So if we go to our home, quick calls, we have, this one actually shows it. So because this one's upgraded, let's go to the other one. Where's my service desk? Here we go. So if we go home, this is the old system, and we have quick calls in here, right? As you know, or may not know, when you have group templates, you can actually have a quick call in a group template. All right. And so you may want to be able to see that. At this point, on the 831 and below, you'd have to go here to see the quick call template, which quick call template is in the group templates. And then you also have quick calls and scheduled quick calls. All right, well, why not have them all together? So that's what we did here, is we now have all three of them right here. You can see which ones go where and are related to whichever quick call it goes to. So if you were to go to a group template, and if you were to add a quick call, and we'll go new template, save, item name. I just pick something. All right. And edit, add. So you can select a template, right? We can make a new quick call. New quick call. And then you put in your processes and everything that's involved. We'll just select a few things here. On hold, team. I'll give it to Clark. It's hi. All right. One note, we did remove the mandatory estimate in minutes for quick calls across the board. Before you could put in 0, but it really wasn't noted anywhere unless you checked in the help. But 0 would be unlimited. But now we've removed that requirement. All right, so we're going to put in here new quick call with template. And of course, you'd be naming it whatever the group template would be. And we're going to hit save. Incident template. Save the incident template. Please select an item. Oh, I got to select an item. Hang on, where's my item? thought I did. Oh, maybe I didn't. Incident item. Save. Done. Okay. So we have our test, but now we can see that the description is new template. If we go to quick call, we can now also see under quick call with group template. No, it didn't show up. I did something wrong. But it would show group template here, yes or no. I think I failed to complete that last task with the group template. By changing it to car, it changed everything. Yeah. Select, new quick call, test, incident. Try this again. Go ahead and add this in. Test, test, save. Please select an item for this template. I did back here. Save. Done. I don't think that item can do a edit. Oh, right here. My bad. Just throw something in. Process, of course. Incident. And it's gonna give me the other things. And hold. Okay, gotta make sure you fill it all in. Save. Now, if we go to the quick calls, we go to all, we can see this one is in group template. Because you can use a quick call in a group template and outside a group template, right? So this will show everything, whether it's scheduled, whether it's in a group template, and all of them all together. So it was important just to have all the resources available at once, because there were some where I didn't realize I had scheduled a quick call, and I had to go dig it out and find it in another view. So this view is all consolidated. Again, we've removed the restriction on the estimated time, so that's taken care of as well. And another resource that we did with that reminder, remember that customer information reminder privilege we talked about. Let's go there, setup, privileges. Talked a little bit about the customer reminder, request reminder. This one here, let's go a little bit bigger. This also has a need info reminder email template. So when it does send that email to the customer, you can customize that as well. So let's go there and see that. Let's go to the templates. And I think it's 2 down. Need info reminder. Okay. And you can customize this. So this is the template it would use for sending those reminder emails to the customer automatically, so it would get, so you can get a response from the customer. The other thing we've done in the templates, and not just this one, but all of them, is we put in customer first name and last name. So we were asked by one of the customers we have that we would like to personalize it further, not just with customer name, but customer first and last name. So we've added those in as well. That'll help personalize that, all your emails that are going out automatically. All right. So if you go into any one of them, you'll see the customer first name, last name. Okay. Calendar views for activate and deactivate. So in the past, we've had where, oh, we want to go to user. Actually, we want to go to user, and we want to go home. And we have our calendar, right? And one things we want to do is to be able to activate and deactivate certain holidays. So if we went over to the privileges, again, this is another privilege that we put in, localization, and we'll go to the bottom, US. You have holidays. So here's your holidays for these particular areas or regions. And you can now activate and deactivate, either in mass or in multiples. If we go to US, we now had Juneteenth off, so we can create a new Juneteenth. And it's in the United States. We'll just say it was on the 19th, which was yesterday. And you could also do your hours. And this is standard stuff here. But now that Juneteenth is in there, maybe you don't have a President's Day or a Labor Day. You can deactivate this. Shows deactivated. And then Juneteenth. Oh, this year, yeah, we're going to activate Juneteenth. Okay. So you can put in your company holidays and your national holidays in here and be able to activate and deactivate. A small, simple thing that was requested through the Ideas portal. Okay. Another thing is the purge deleted attachments. So in this particular case, when we go to requests, actually we'll go to user requests. Oh, we're in requests. Very good. If you have a particular note and you attach something to this note, for instance, I'll just drag that to it. Where are we? Open. All right. So we have it here, right? And we go ahead and add that note. Oh, I got to put comments in. Takia, and we'll just put add note. All right. So we do see that we have an add note. We do see we have an attachment. If I were to open this up, and if I were to remove this, oh, that's download. Oh, I don't have the rights to remove it. If it got removed from this particular note, if you had rights to, then the file would remain on the server, but it wouldn't be linked to anything. It would basically be orphaned. All right. So if you have technicians that go in and they put in a log and they want to update that log and say, oh, that was the wrong one, let me put in this one instead. And that can be considerable amount of space. So per requested, we've now have under our setup, under the privileges for the system, the very bottom, you know about the reindex, right? Under requests, we have a similar type button called purge deleted attachments. So this will purge those files that are orphaned in that area. And I'll have a video out on this so that you can see exactly where that location is. It's under cases, attachments, cases, but I'll have a video out for this. All right, but you just select that and you basically are purging those particular files that are orphaned. They aren't going to be able to be retrieved anyhow as far as from a request or a service desk aspect. But we had a customer that had about 20 gigs out there of these because he had the system for a long time and he was using those attached emails, attachments to emails and stuff. Now, if you delete a request that has notes with attachments, all of that gets deleted. Okay, so it's not left behind if you delete a request. It's only if you have a note to where you've added an attachment and then you removed an attachment. All right, makes sense? All right. The other thing that we've done is if we go to our technician portal, we gotta go to user, and if we go to, I'm gonna go full screen just so that we have this and make it easier. Full screen, and if we wanted to do a search for somebody, there was a customer that was migrating to a new domain, and they wanted to make sure that all their old domain users had the new email alias so that the transition would be transparent to the user, to the customer. And so we incorporated this new email address alias, searching on the email alias. That way you can search on that particular. I wonder if I have that still configured. I may not. Let me go to users. Let me pick Nancy, and let's go edit. Does she have a email alias? Where are we? Username, fix it. Primary email. Aliases, sorry. Add. So used to looking at the other area. This is nj@c1.co.com, let's say. All right, we'll save that. So Nancy Jonas at c1.com is her email alias. All right, typically it's njonas. We have nj. So now if I'm a technician and I'm looking to see if I'm looking for her, I can go nj and search. Oh, didn't find it. LDAP all. Wow. Active. It's not going to be LDAP. We have it in Service Desk. I don't know why it's confused. Let's go back to user, customers. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go here. Alias, edit, add. I think it's for customers. a@c1.com. Save. Because Nancy Jonas was not a customer. Let's go back over to user search. AA. Search on that. Okay, so that picked up A. Ackerman, but let's do another search for AA. Search. So it still picked him up. Okay. So that search is for customer searches, making sure all your customers have moved over. So it makes your domain transition a little bit easier. All right. And then finally, the modernization of the system. As you know, like this format came in with a new coding of Singular and Spring and Angular, and it makes it easier for the coding and changes and adjustments for features and so forth. So we started doing that with the CMDB, and the CMDB is a configuration management database, which is where all your items reside. All right. This is the old look. All right. We started with the Amy snapshots, so you could see the configuration changes. You have the filtering on the left. You have your saved and default filters here. If you decide to save any, they'll come in here. You can then share and delete. Also your buttons across the top here on being able to merge, hide, add new, and so forth. You also have your column configuration. And so you have, so this new change, we're going to slowly be migrating all of the old coding for all of the CMDB across the board. The next set will probably be vendors, manufacturers, and outages, and then items, types, and categories, only because item types and categories we're working on in the background, they have a lot of links. All these tabs lots of links on each one of these. So we are working through these, getting them all done. The next set will be probably these three: vendors, manufacturers, and outages. And then a following release will have the final one done so that we can get that modernization throughout the CMDB portion. All right. And the other thing we've done is being able to set up ZENworks. Oh, sorry, Amy, import. You can now, when you're doing your import, you can now have a description. So it saves you some typing after the item is imported, especially if you're doing a lot of them. You can put your description in on the form, the CSV file, and the description will come right on into the CMDB. Okay, again, per your request. All right, so ZENworks Service Desk version 23.3, that kind of covers some of them. There'll be an official video. There'll be there'll be an information blog. Here's some things that we've already talked about on the community site. You know, all the different features and so forth in the latest enhancements and scenarios. We're testing them now. We're finalizing and hard coding in the next few weeks, and we'll be having it released on July 11th. Documentation will be available on upon release. There'll be videos available upon release, how to upgrade and so forth. Keep tabs on this community for those details, and you'll have the details you need to get to the latest level. All right, and have explanations. The next schedule. So July 4th is coming up. That's a U.S. holiday. We won't be having a ZENcast session that week. We will be having one 2 weeks after that, and we'll be covering the ZENworks 2 form factor authentication. That will give you some ideas on how to configure this particular 2 form factor authentication that we were talking about. And so that you can actually do 2 form factor with your ZENworks products. All right. Again, if you want to see the upcoming schedule, it's always available here out on the community site. Welcome to ZENcast live session schedule and on-demand library. One thing to note is last week, Oliver did a webinar on ZENworks Service Desk best practices, and he went through a lot of the different privileges. So it really helps to go through that to see what each one of those privileges actually do and what's a best practice for that. All right. So that was last week. So feel free to go out to the webinars out there. And of course, down below, you'll see the different topics we've done throughout the 3 years of ZENcast. And most of them still pertain. So feel free to go out here. You can get right to the on-demand library recordings and view what's going on and actually download some of those PDFs like I put in chat earlier. All right. Otherwise, we are at ZCM 2020 Update 3. Remember that there is an upgrade cookbook for that. There's also the June PRU is out. There's an imaging update out. ZRS 811 was released. So the What's New README is here. And ZSD 831, remember security updates come out every 3 months on a regular cadence. So that was just released last week. And Hybrid Workspaces 23.1 is out. Okay. Coming up to futures, obviously we have ZCM 23.3, which it's in beta at this point in time, just about to be released, I think in August. And we're releasing ZSD in July. And Hybrid Workspaces will be released somewhere in July. All right. Again, there's links to the ZSD lookbook, the ZCM lookbook, which gives you details about how to see what version you're on, how to get to the next version, how to be at the latest version, and so forth. There's the team collaboration and UEM community, the live upcoming schedule, as we mentioned, the webinar recordings, which I talked about, Oliver just did. So, let me go back And see if I can select that. So feel free to register here. Here's the June ZENworks Service Desk best practices. You could see that recording. You could register for the next recordings that are coming up or the next live events because you can ask questions and get those details. There are other live casts that are going on. We have Filer, Groupwise, Enterprise Messaging, ZENworks is the third Thursday of every month, and OES iPrint. So Robin Redgrave from the UK is doing the Filer, Groupwise, and OES, but you can feel free to register at these locations to get those, so you get notified of those. So we have one for these products once a week, depending on which products you have. All right. Again, TTP USA conference is coming up. If you're unaware of what the conference is, go on out to the ttp.org and you'll be able to see the conference. There's also an agenda out here that you could see what's going on. We not only is this just presentations from OpenText or for the products, but it's also presentations from customers and how they're using the products. And it doesn't always pertain just to OpenText products. It could be other products. So the agenda's out here. You can look through these and see what's going on and see how what customers are presenting as well. Again, it's customer presentations, how-tos, introductions to the latest, and roadmaps. All right. The next ZENcast is on July 18th. ZENworks 2 form factor authentication. I want to thank you for your time today and being able to see what's going on in ZENworks Service Desk. We will be checking back with you in a month because we're skipping the next one. And I hope that you guys all stay safe. Look forward to the next time. If you have any requests for any particular ZENcast, please put them in the comments of the ZENcast recording or send an email at zen@microfocus.com. And we'd be happy to put that into the agenda so that we can get you that particular topic and display that for you. All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody, and have a great day.